Okay, so let's use this time to talk about a few extra practice problems in Chapter 2. So if I want to figure out how many seconds are in one day, okay, we're going to start with what we know. And so the answer is supposed to be in seconds. And the only thing that we start with, or what we start with, is one day. So we have to start kind of going back to some facts we know about a day. Well, one thing I know about a day is that there are, I don't really know how many seconds in a day, but I do know that there are 24 hours in one day. Okay, I know that. And I put the day on the bottom so that it would cancel out because I need seconds in the end. So what about, I need my hours to cancel out, right? So 1 hour, I know that there are 60 seconds in 1 hour. That's going to make my hours cancel out. And so if I take 1 times 24 times 60, my units are seconds, so that part is correct. And on the bottom, 1 times 1 is just 1. I have no units left. Well, that's going to be 86,400 seconds divided by 1, which is just going to give me back what I started with. A lot of people have trouble with, are having trouble with these problems. If I have 25 yen, okay, that's what I'm starting with. I want my answer to be how many dollars I have left, so I'm going to have the yen cancel out. So I need a fact about Japanese yen. One of the things that it told you is there are 0.008658 dollars in 1 Japanese yen. Okay, that's one of the things that the table said. Well, I can use that. So 1 would go on the bottom, 1 Japanese yen, and on the top, I would put my dollars, 0.008658. Okay, and then I would take the 25 times the 0.008658 to get my answer in dollars, which would be $0.21645. If we had to round that, we would get 22 cents, basically. Okay, if you have $25, okay, and you want to change it to pounds, British pounds, okay, then I'm going to have my dollars cancel out. So I'm going to have to know something about dollars. And on the table, it says that $1, and it doesn't matter whether you put it on the top or the bottom, but $1 is equal to 0.8191 pounds, British pounds. So my dollars are going to cancel out. I'm going to take 25 and multiply it by 1.8191. I'm sorry, this is not a 1. I'm going to say 25 times 0.8191, and that's going to give me 20.4775 British pounds, depending on how they want me to round. If they wanted me to round to the nearest pound, I would say 20 pounds, because that 0.4, if this number that we're rounding to is 5 or less, it's going to stay the same. So this is another problem that people are really having trouble with. The length of the Kentucky Derby horse race is 10 furlongs, and 1 furlong is 0.125 miles. So I think it's asking how many miles this 10 furlongs would be. So I would start my problem with what I know. Okay, and we want to end our problem with what the question's asking us is to change that to miles. So I need the furlongs to cancel out. And what do I know about this? I know that 1 furlong is 0.125 miles. And so we would, to find the answer, we would do 10 times 0.125, which is going to give us 1.25 miles. You are planning to make pesto and need to buy basil. At the grocery store, you can buy small containers of basil priced at $2.99 for each 2/3 ounce of container. And at the farmer's market, so we got the grocery store and we have the farmer's market, you can buy basil in bunches for $12 a pound. Which one is the better deal? Well, if I take my $2.99, and right now what I know is that for 2/3 of an ounce, okay, this would give me dollars per ounce if I did this calculation. So if I take $2.99 and divide it by 2/3 of an ounce, we're going to get $4.485 per ounce. Okay, so I also want to know how much is this $12 per pound. Well, to do this problem, we ought to think about the fact that we're starting with dollars per pound, and it's $12 for 1 pound, but there's 16 ounces in a pound. 1 pound is 16 ounces. That's $12. 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces. So if we do 12 divided by 16, we end up getting 0.75. Okay, and here we can see that this one is a whole lot cheaper, 75 cents an ounce versus $4.49 if we round up an ounce. So we would want to pick the farmer's market, would be the cheaper option. There's another way that we could converted them all to pounds. In fact, figured it out that way. It doesn't matter whichever way you want to work that problem. So if we start out with 2,759 centimeters and we want our final answer to be in meters, we're going to have to know, well, how many centimeters are in a meter? So I want my centimeters to cancel out. And there are 100 centimeters in 1 meter. So this would be 2,759 times 1. Our centimeters cancel out, so we just have meters on the top. And on the bottom, we have 100. So we're going to need to figure the whole total out. We'll need to divide 2,759 by 100. So 27.59 meters. Okay. How many square kilometers are in 1 square mile? Okay, well, here's what I know. 1 mile is equal to 1.6093 kilometers. Okay, so I don't have miles and kilometers. I have square kilometers in 1 square mile. So if I square these things, which means, remember, our squaring means you're multiplying it by themselves. So we would do 1 squared miles squared is equal to 1.6093 squared kilometers squared. Okay, that's going to get me 1 mile squared. If I simplify this, 1 times 1 is just 1. And then I've got miles squared. And on the other side, I would take 1.6093 and hit the squared button, or you could multiply it by itself. 1.6093 times 1.6093. And that gets me 2.5898. And then I've got kilometers squared. So that's how many square kilometers are in 1 square mile. Okay, last problem to help kind of with chapter 2 homework. A child weighing 15 kilograms, so we've got a child that weighs 15 kilograms. They've got a bacterial ear infection. A physician orders treatment with the antibiotic amoxicillin at a dosage of 30 milligrams for every kilogram of body weight per day. Okay, but they're going to divide that into 2 doses to be given every 12 hours. So how much amoxicillin should the child be given every 12 hours? So what we know is that we've got 30 milligrams per kilogram of body weight that we've got to give this medicine. And right now, this child weighs 15 kilograms. I'm just going to put 15 kilograms is how much the child weighs. And we need to give 30 milligrams per every 1 kilogram, right? 30 milligrams for every 1 kilogram. And that's going to be how much we need to give them every single day, per day. So let's figure out that part first. 15 times 30 ends up being 450 milligrams. Okay, now that is how much we need to give them for the whole day. But the final question says, how much amoxicillin should the child be given every 12 hours? Well, that's just 1 dose. We're going to give this dose. We're going to take this that should be given the whole day and divide it into 2 doses. So 450 divided by 2 is 225 milligrams per dose. So they would get this dose twice a day. So I hope that kind of helps you with some extra problems on chapter 2 to help with either your homework or your test or both. So we'll be moving on to chapter 3 next.